Shalom, shalom. Kahalal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the millstone rule well, and salutations to the hopeful elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word and pushing the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in truth and in sincerity. This is Ira from Great Millstone, Wisconsin, and coming at you with another lesson. And today's lesson is going to be based off of the term Ancient of Days in Daniel 7 and 9. We're going to be, exploring what the word or what the phrase Ancient of Days actually means in the scriptures. So, basically this is what is an attribute of the Most High type of lesson. You have personalizations of the Most High to where people think that the Most High is subject to their time frame, or subject to, what they personally feel about the Most High. And in those statements, feel like they can contain him, within their ideology, within their shrines or churches or temples, especially with the fact that, 2 Corinthians 2 and 6 tells you the heavens of heavens can't contain the Most High, so there's no way in order to put the Most High in a box because the Most High created the box, This is, and I'll get right into it. This is Daniel 7 and 9. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down and the Ancient of Days did sit. Now Ancient of Days obviously is the Most High, right? Whose garment was white as snow and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame and his wheels as burning fires. Which going back to Hebrews, it tells you that the Most High is a consuming fire. And those white hairs on his head consist of the color, and that wool is talking about the texture of his hair. And that's how you know the Most High identifies with being a so-called black man. He looks just like the average Judite today. He looks exactly like Yahweh Shai. So now when you look into this word ancient, right? Now you look into the word ancient, you think of antiquity, right? Or something old. This is from the Hebrew H6268. Atayak, which means ancient, advanced, aged, old, taken away, venerable, ancient. Now, when something is ancient, it means it's very old, right? Now, let's go to the word days, which the word in the Hebrew here is yawam, which is day. Days refer to a 24-hour period when the word is modified by a definite or cardinal number. Day, time. So basically, what this is saying is he's ancient of time, or he's older than time, and we can get that from Isaiah, the 43rd chapter here. In Isaiah chapter 43, verse 10, it says, now this is the Most High speaking. It says, ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen. That's how you know this is in all caps. It says that ye may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Yahweh, he exists. Before me, there was no power formed. So the Most High, Yahweh, he's gloating here. Before I was here, there was no other God. Neither shall there be after me. Now this is a bold statement because he can back it up. There was no other power with him, when he existed, when the world was void, going back to Genesis, the first chapter, which we're going to get, It says, I am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange power among you. Therefore ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, that I am the Most High. Yea, before the day was I. Yea, before the day was, I am he. So before the day was, before the day cycle was created, the sun and the moon, the Most High was there. Going back to Daniel 7 and 9, behold, to the thrones were cast, and Ancient of Days did sit. So he predates time. If you were to put it in human layman's terms, he predates time. When time was created, he was before that. I read it again. It says, yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? Meaning the Lord's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do, because he created all, right? When you go to Genesis, the first chapter, now this is speaking on the beginning of all creation, right? This is Genesis 1:1. It says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. Because what the Most High did was he gave the instructions to his creations, which would be the angels, man, the holy angels, which, when you go into the word God here, it's Elohim, which means the powers, So here, H430, now the world will say Elohim, this is the Most High's true name, but this is not his true name. The Most High doesn't even show up in Genesis, the first chapter. He doesn't show up till Genesis 2 in verse 4. And that word there in Genesis 2 and 4 is Yahweh. So this word Elohim means something completely different. This lets you know that the Most High was the architect behind the scenes. Now you go into the Greek 430, Elohim. It says rulers, judges, divine ones, angels. See, there we go. Gods, meaning powers. God, godlike one, works or special possessions of the Most High. So these are the angels that created the heavens and the earth, right? And now we're going to go down to, eventually we're going to get to Genesis, we're going to get to 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, which lets you know that the Most High was architect behind Genesis 1. But let's keep going in Genesis 1 here. This is Genesis 1, chapter 2. This is Genesis 1, verse 2. It says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim, the powers, moved upon the face of the waters. So the earth was without form. It was dark. There was darkness, and, there was nothing created. Going back to Isaiah, the 43rd chapter, where he says, yea, before the day was, I am he, So there was nothing created, right? It says, verse 3, it says, and Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was good. It was up to the Most High standards. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Now this is when he divided the lights from each other, illuminated the elements and the ions in the atmosphere, and created something called twilight. So this was all a carefully concocted plan. And that first day means it was the first 1,000 years. Now this was the beginning of time, so to speak. Well, not so to speak, it's a fact. This was the beginning of time. And this was all created by the Most High and the holy angels. This is verse 6 says, and Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Meaning dividing the heavens. So you divided the sky, the firmament that we see, the atmosphere from the deep outer space atmosphere. And the Most High called, man, it says, and Elohim called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day, meaning second 1,000 years. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this point up, because the Ancient of Days is not subject to time, especially not subject to humans' construct of time, idea of time. And Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. So this is the creation of the earth. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the gathering together, and the waters called he seas. And the Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, and herb, and yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so, meaning vegetation. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself and his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day, meaning the third 1,000th year. So at this point, it's been 3,000 years. And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let there be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So this is the creation of, now this is creation of time as we know it. This is the day-night cycle. It says, and Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Elohim set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So time was already created, in a space before the fourth day, and it was the Most High's time. Our sense of time, meaning our day-night cycle, wasn't created until the fourth day, right? Going back to Daniel 7:9 once again, the Ancient of Days did sit, right? It's going to Hebrews 12:9. Now, this is proving that the spirits were created, Elohim, the powers, the angels, because the angels didn't exist without being created by the Most High. Now, Hebrews 12:9 disproves that. It says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subject unto the Father of spirits and live? And this is the whole point here. The Father of spirits. The Most High is the Father of spirits. Everything in this planet has a spirit. Genesis 1 that we just read, every plant, every herb yielding seed, of its kind has a spirit in it, Going down, all manner of creatures of life have spirits in them, going all the way down to even these false idols, these false idols have spirits in them that the Lord has also created, but going back to Genesis 1, these angels, the Elohim, was created by the Most High, and he created these Elohim to create the planet Earth and create this construct of time that we know it as, Now let's go back to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, and let me show you what I mean. It says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day, So this is the construct of time that the Lord has created, So we go back to this Genesis 1, and we only read up to the fourth day, which would be what? When you look at it, it's the 4,000th year, Now, our time, our time is one day. We look at the Lord looks at one day as 1,000 years, right? And 1,000 years is one day. We look at one day as 24 hours. The day-night cycle that was created in the fourth day. The sun rising, setting, the moon rising and setting. That's what we look at as time. When we can't fathom one of the Lord's days being 1,000 years because we don't live that long. So one day seems like a significant amount of time to us. That's why you can't fit the Most High into the box, called time, because he created time. He's the Ancient of Days. He predates time, Now, let me go here really quick, because a lot of people, if you have an ear, let them hear. But a lot of people have a problem with understanding this, And this is the answer for that. It's Isaiah 55:8. It says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. So there's no use trying to fathom or think about these things that are too high for us in the manner of the Most High, because we're not him. So we can't possibly think or wrap our minds around one day being 1,000 years. We can understand that, yes, to the Lord, one day is 1,000 years, but we don't know what that means to actually experience that, It says, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Exactly, because he created everything that you see before you, and he mapped out the whole existence and timeline of the planet Earth before he even created the Elohim to create the earth. This is 2 Ezra 6:1. It says, and he said unto me in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the wind blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of I'm sorry, verse 3. Let me read that again. It says, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established. So before the Elohim, the gods, the powers, the angels that we read in Genesis 1 that created the earth, before they were created, right? It said before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together. So this is before the angels were created, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named. So this is telling you before Genesis, the first chapter, or ever the chimneys in Sion were hot, before Israel was created, and the present years were sought out, so even time, before time was created, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure, so before the elect, before the 2/3, before Israel as a whole, before the nations. Then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone. See, the Lord said he considered these things before he even created the earth, created our construct of time. He considered all of these things through the timeline before he even created it. So how can you put the Most High in a box and say that, he is subject to our timeline, or he is subject to being put or confined on earth somehow? You can't do it. It says, and through none other but me, and through none other by me also shall they be ended, and by none other. So, and then it goes into, being the parting asunder of times, which Jacob is a begin, which is Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. I'll read it. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first? Meaning, when shall be the end of the world as we know it, and the beginning of it that followeth, and when is the kingdom of heaven coming? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Now the Lord considered the beginning and the end of the world before he even created time and created this world, man. So when you talk about the Ancient of Days, you have to think about, that this is a being, a higher power. This is the Most High, the Most High, literally. He exists outside of our realm of time, our realm of existence, our realm of understanding. You can't put the Most High in a box, and you can't possibly say that him and Yahweh Shai, is the same person, because Yahweh Shai was also a spirit that was created by the Most High, That's a whole nother lesson in itself, dealing with John, the first chapter, But with that, I hope you, Akim and Akwath, are edified in the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praises, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone well, and salutations to the hopeful elect on the four corners, personal word, in the name and truth and in sincerity. Shalom.